Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to our today live discussions in Oman Blockchain Club. Today we are happy to welcome Dr. Nazraf Shah, Assistant Professor in Coventry University, UK, United Kingdom. Today we will have a really interesting discussion regarding blockchain, the use of the blockchain over. Okay, and welcome Dr. Nazraf with us.
Thank you very much. And Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I hope that this discussion will be very useful and we will be able to learn from each other. But this is kind of like friendly and basic discussion about blockchain, what blockchain is, and the different domain in which blockchain can be used or being used. We will touch upon different domains as well, and then mostly it will be sort of answer to your question. If you got any question related to blockchain technology, then you can ask us. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nazraf. And we will start with the beginning of the session where possibly new people who are interested in learning blockchain, they are joining us today. So, Doc, can you please define what is exactly a blockchain technology?
Okay. So blockchain is basically, it is a kind of database. So it's not exactly like traditional database, but it is kind of database. So that database basically it's take the number of record or it's take the number of transaction and put it into a block. Then we have a one block of blockchain, and what happened next is that when one block is confirmed, then that block is basically chained or linked to the next block. So then we keep doing that, and in the end we will end up with a number of block, and that block are basically chained together and linked together. That construction create a distributed ledger system, and that distributed ledger system is immutable. So it's difficult once a block is finalized through the consensus of people, it's difficult to tamper with that block. Even if you change a slight information, if even you change one with a zero or zero with a one, then it will invalidate all your previous blocks, because basically when we chain the block together, we take the hash of a previous block and we put it to the next block. So once you change the slightest information in a one block, that basically change the hash. So it's impossible to tamper with any block data. So that's why that for securing record or for securing transaction, and especially for like money related transaction, it is best technology to use because it is a tamper proof. And the other distinguishing characteristic of blockchain is that it is distributed. So in a blockchain, there are a number of node you can consider as a people with their own machine, or you can consider as a sort of different machine. So basically blockchain runs on a number of different machine that make it a distributed blockchain. And even if someone tamper on or bypass one node or one machine, and if that makes some changes to that machine, and if the other node, when they notice that the one node is not consistent with them, that's just basically that block or that node get ignored, and blockchain sort of stay in a consistent manner. So for the distributed ledger technology that is enabled by the blockchain is basically it doesn't provide the one or single point of failure, or it doesn't provide a single point of entry for hacker to hack and change information. So for that reason, that we can say that it's not possible to hack the blockchain, and it's not possible to tamper the content of blockchain.
Thank
So
you so much, Doctor, for your inputs. Now, Doctor, I would like to ask, what are the most domains are adopting blockchain today?
So there are the blockchain technology is being adopted by commercial world. So especially like banking transaction, earlier on banking transaction, when we give check to the people, when we transfer the money, especially when we the money has to cross the international boundary, then there is a lot of verification of third party in order to transfer fund from one account to another account and from one country to another country. But the blockchain basically enable the this transfer of fund very quickly, because it doesn't involve the human being. It got its own consensus mechanism, and it got its own cryptographic signature that make the transaction permanent, and that makes the transaction tamper proof as well. And that is the one area. And the you must have heard of this cryptocurrency, or some of you might hold the Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency. So the most prominent application of blockchain came into the existence with the introduction of Bitcoin, because under Bitcoin it's sort of blockchain that enable the transaction in a Bitcoin. So if you have your Bitcoin, you got the address of that Bitcoin, you got like a public and private key, you are holder of the wallet. No one can log into break your account and steal your Bitcoin, unless you give your public or private sort of public and private key to some people, and who can sort of uh, log into your account and steal your currency. And blockchain has been used like in a different government department. It is being used in a number of government department, because in government department there is a lot of verification process. If you have to sort of create some documents, then that document need to be verified by number of people. So if you push it through email, if you push it through other mechanism, then it takes a long time. And but within using blockchain, there is another concept that we can deploy this smart contract over the blockchain. Smart contract, basically you can put the condition for document that if the document meet that condition, that should be certified by the government department. If they don't meet it, then they won't be certified. So basically it's remove the bureaucratic process, and the authentication of document is sort of it gets streamlined, it get quickly. And in other case, that is like there is the government documents and the government information are basically, it's like constant sort of target of hacker, because they want to hack the government information. And blockchain basically provide an ideal technology to digitize the government document and information, so no one can hack those information, and no one can have the unauthorized access to uh, government information. So there are a number of initiatives that has been started. For example, in case of land registry record, I don't know about the Oman, but in UK it's quite difficult. You have to, if you buy a house, the seller has to prove their identity, and they have to prove that they own the house. And then when they sell it, they have to prove it that they got enough money in their bank account. They're paying with that money for the buyer. And there should be sort of buyer identity as well, that he is a legitimate resident of the UK. So this process is like it goes through the a number of different departments, and it take like month, if not weeks. So using blockchain technology, in some cases, some countries it's being used. So using blockchain technology, it could reduce this like process of 1 month or couple of weeks into just sort of minute and hour, because everything get authenticated and everything gets sort of authorized by the concerned party. So how that authorization happen in blockchain? Because there is another concept that is, as I mentioned, is smart contract. We put the smart contract. The smart contract is not sort of, they are the digital equivalent of paper contract. Paper contract. In paper contract, we can have like number of rules, number of condition that we can put it to the smart contract, and smart contracts are basically digital contract, and they are the code. And we, when the condition are met, for example, if I want to buy a house, then I need to sort of deposit a money in that account, and I need to meet that condition. And when that condition is met, then blockchain will push it to the next step and next step. So basically, it is a contract that is between me and the seller of house, that will be put it into the code context, and it will run automatically, and we don't have to do this kind of manual transaction or going to the lawyer or going to to the banks as well. And again, that the government registry, when they check that this all need legal requirement has been fulfilled, then they finally authorize that deed using their digital signature, and it will be in the record will be in custody of the land registry who deals with these. And the most prominent case that is this very hot topic, that IoT, Internet of Things. So Internet of Things is, you know, that there are like sensor, other devices, other sort of computers, and then we have mobile phone and all those things that use sort of kind of sensing technology and send the data. And IoT is basically, there are a huge amount of data get produced by the IoT. And the major challenge in widespread adoption of IoT was its security, because it wasn't enough sort of secure to transmit the information, because in businesses they have very sort of sensitive information. They don't want that information to get revealed to the hacker or their competitor. So IoT is considered as now, because of introduction of blockchain, so it's considered as one of the uh, best application of blockchain in IoT, because what it does is the inherent nature of this blockchain is that all your information get encrypted. Only authorized or concerned people can view those information. And the another thing of this blockchain being a distributed ledger is that, because the blockchain is not at one place, so it is at number of places. It's run on number of nodes, and every node has its own copy. So if one node goes down, then the other node take place of that node, and things keep running. In healthcare system, there has been a sort of number of application in healthcare system as well, because you know that healthcare data is very sensitive data. So patient, they need to have trust that their information are secure. And then if there are like number of company, one of them is Philips. They have produced the blockchain for healthcare. So basically, that blockchain uh, keep the record of all patient, and then every event. For example, if they go for some specific test, blood test, if they have taken medicine A, medicine B, it's all recorded in that blockchain. So the blockchain is basically tamper proof, and the physician or doctor who are authorized to view that record, they can view the patient record in chronological order, so they can see that, like, if patient has some sort of specific disease, at what stage, what treatment was given to the patient. And again, that is a sort of, it is confidence of patient, that they have the confidence that their information is secure. On top of that, there are government regulation that the blockchain enable to adhere during this process. So that regulation is again that we can realize that blockchain into the sort of smart contract, and that smart contract run on a blockchain. So basically, it's kind of rule, you can specify those rules in smart contract, and it's uh, execute this kind of like those contracts. And the beauty of this is that the government regulation are put into the blockchain through the smart contract, and no one has to sort of worry about the regulation, because if something is against the regulation of government, so the blockchain will reject it. That transaction or that record sort of addition will never be approved by the blockchain.
Okay, doctor. So, a summary of what you're saying that blockchain can be used in health and banking and everywhere we can adopt a blockchain technology. Doc, as much the features you was mentioned in a blockchain, why still blockchain technology have the challenges into adopting into different organizations and countries?
Because nowadays that there are a lot of organization, they are sort of focusing on adopting the blockchain, because initially it was like kind of like start of blockchain. The real application of blockchain start is like, is recently, it was 2008 when the Bitcoin came into the existence. And now there are like couple of challenges available. One of them is that lot of people still are not sort of familiar with blockchain. There are sort of there was not sort of much research into the black sort of blockchain. Now there is a lot of research initiative going on in a blockchain area as well. So people are getting, earlier on we have seen that for like maybe 2 3 year ago, there was virtually no university offering the course on blockchain, but now we can see that a lot of university, they are moving toward the blockchain to equip their students, so because they know that the future is uh, blockchain. So you might be aware that initially from like web evolution, initially we have the web 1, that was static content. You can get the static content from web, and then we moved to the web 2, and web 2 is basically it's sort of dynamic content generation. In web 2 you are able to do a lot of things on internet. Now we can't imagine our life without internet. We do all things like social media, shopping, getting information. Like if you go to the any office, then everywhere is, everybody uses the internet. So that internet is moving toward the web 3.0, and it is sort of consensus of scientists that web 3 will be eventually running on a blockchain, but it might take like 10 to 15 years to reach that state, but now things are like gearing up toward that state as well. So if you look at like in America, that there are a lot of states, they have adopted the blockchain for their documentation purposes, for transaction purposes as well. Even in American defense, there is a DARPA. It's a part of American military that acquire and that does research on defense related technology. And DARPA has also adopted the blockchain technology so they can provide the secure communication between their personnel and between like their technical employee throughout the world. And similarly, Chinese military, they are also sort of heavily investing into the blockchain so they can implement a blockchain infrastructure that enable them to maintain the security of their information, security of their weapon program, and security of their communication. So there are a lot of initiative going on. It's very active area, but in order to come for this to come into sort of at evolutionary stage when we will see the Web 3.0, it's might take like 10 to 15 years. It's my guess, and a lot of people say that as well.
Thank you so much, Doc. Doc, a part of movement of blockchain adoption, there was one concept we called it NFT, which is it used for arts and
Yeah,
selling
yeah,
things
yeah.
through the internet. So, can you please give a brief about NFT?
So NFT is this non-fungible token. So basically, it is like if you have a digital art, you create that digital art, and there is only one identity of that digital art. So it is on blockchain, and no one can claim it, no one can change it, no one can steal it. For example, if I have a digital photograph and that's non-fungible token, and it is on blockchain, so what will happen is that even if someone copy it, they can never claim it because I got the it's a kind of like ownership. And if I want to transfer that ownership, that is will be the only one and only one token, and that will have only one and one address in a blockchain. So if I want to give the ownership of that document, sorry, that non-fungible token, so what I can do is to sort of I can either sell it or either I can gift it to someone, and then that person will become owner of that. So in art and especially in music industry, this non-fungible token idea is picking up, and for past 2 years it's just sort of getting exploded because a lot of people are creating the like these digital artists. They create their digital art, and now they send it sort of they sell it as a non-fungible token. And it's once they create the their digital arts, for example, if they have created a piece of art, then they sell it, and that is its ownership goes to the person who sell them, and it is the only person who have the ownership to that non-fungible token, no one else.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Doctor, in terms of an NTF and bitcoins, still people they are thinking the physical money is still trustworthy more than bitcoins.
Yeah, yeah.
Why this is it's a human level or it is not a trusting of a technology?
So basically, it's like because this is kind of new concept, because digital money you can't touch it, you can't feel it. And the like these they call it fiat currency, which you use these notes and that kind of thing. So people can see it, people can sort of trust more on banks as well. And then the another problem is that because this the currency that is backed by the government. So for example, you have Omani Real, you call it Real. It is
Yes,
backed by
exactly.
Omani government. We have this British pound, it is backed by British pound. But Bitcoin is not backed by any government. So it's kind of community, it's backed by the community, and it has its value. So that's why that the people for some people who are not sort of that technology savvy, for them it's kind of not that they don't feel quite convenient with this this cryptocurrency. So again, that, and then another thing is that if you there are sort of few places in the world they accept the cryptocurrency. So that was another factor that people were not. But now it's like cryptocurrency is a lot of like these Visa card. They are sort of thinking of using the cryptocurrency card as well, so we can use that cryptocurrency card to pay for our coffee and things like that. And then other organizations, for example PayPal, they have come sort of started to recognize the cryptocurrency so people can use the cryptocurrency as well. But in when we are talking about the web 3.0, in web 3.0 it's all like a lot of things will be the cryptocurrency based. So even the government, they have this fiat currency note, we normally use it. They are thinking of making that currency digital as well. So it's like there will be some time that we won't be able to see this paper money, so it will be in museum, and we will be using the digital currency, either it's issued by the government or either it's issued by the community.
Thank you so much, Doctor. It seems it will be interesting because I got this question over here. Doc, what do you think the challenges of integrating blockchain with IoT?
So there is, it's all like technical things, but there is kind of like no the technology is there. It's all that you need to have some sort of right people who understand the domain of that IoT, and they can integrate, because there are Cisco, they have already produced a framework, and there are a number of other company, they have produced the framework of Internet of Things as well. And their people can use their framework, or people can buy a framework from them, and then they can use it. So normally, like, developing the framework on your own from scratch is not good idea, or it's quite sort of daunting task. And the available framework or the technical services, they come with that framework, people can use that as well. But I know that there are a couple of company who have already implemented this blockchain technology for the Internet of sort of Internet of Things. And one of them is a Cisco as well, because they are the member of Secure IoT Alliance. And that Secure IoT Alliance, the company within that Secure IoT Alliance, are sort of moving toward the blockchain technology.
Clear and interesting, Doctor. The other question that we have in the chat, Doctor, today is uh, which is the best cryptocurrency today in market?
So uh, the Bitcoin is the most sort of expensive currency in the market. So then there is a this second one is the Ethereum. So Ethereum is, Bitcoin is, I think nowadays it's like 30,000 or 31,000 pound per Bitcoin. And Ethereum is basically, it's like I think it's 2,200 or something like that pound. But it's like, which is the best cryptocurrency to trade. Okay, so what you can, if you have like a lot of money, then Bitcoin is ideal currency to trade, a sort of trade. And if you don't have that much money, what you can do is that you can sort of there is another currency that's known as Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is like 200 something pound. So you can, if you have less money, then go for this then this sort of ideal is Bitcoin Cash as well. And there is Ethereum as well. And there are a sort of number of other currencies that you can use. But it's like, again, that there is a lot of volatility in the this currency market. Few months back, it was like the Bitcoin. I don't know about your currency, but in UK currency, it was 45,000 pound for one Bitcoin, but now it is 32,000 pound, and last month it was 25,000 pound. So there is a lot of volatility. If you want to trade, just wait for the time when this price fall, and then you can sort of buy it and you can get sort of money from that. But if you have a lot of money and if you want to invest it in, and then again that you need to check that when the sort of currency drops, because the cryptocurrency drops is when they drops, they all drops together. So you can see if you go to the cryptocurrency, there are sites as well. One site is let me think which one was CoinStat. CoinStat, if you go to the CoinStat, you will see like all currencies, prices, and that kind of things. And when it's go down, I'm not able to give, but like where you invest it, but like the most popular are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash as well, and then there is a one like recently it's picking up is Cardano as well, and there are thousands of other currency.
Interesting. The other question from Badr as well, it's what is the best platform to create a new blockchain system? I think this is a question for if it's a beginner. So if it's a beginner or a person starting to create his blockchain, which platform to start with?
So it's like blockchain. If you are creating to sort of going to use, you can use like there are Ethereum platform available. They are open source, and you can use that platform as well. And there are, because it's like it's open source, and if you want to customize it, you can sort of customize that platform as well. And if you want to use this smart contract things, there is also there is a language for smart contract, sort of smart contract, that is Solidity. It's based on Java. You can use sort of Java language as well. But what if you are new to blockchain, what I would suggest you to first read an introductory book on blockchain, get yourself familiarized with the different concept of blockchain, and then you can sort of implement the blockchain. Even you can implement your own blockchain as well if you know that how to do this hashing and how to generate the primary and sort of private and public key, how to create the hash. You can still sort of create your own blockchain. So another question I think I just pop up, that it's kind of like the cryptocurrency is like a Ponzi scheme.
Exactly.
In a way, you can sort of call it a sort of Ponzi scheme, but it's not like that. So some people, it's again that you need to sort of understand the how this cryptocurrency operate. There is a lot of volatility. So Bitcoin, basically when Bitcoin started like 2008, at that point it like price was like $60 or $80 or something like that. But now after in 2020, now Bitcoin is something like 40 or 40 $45,000. It's not sort of, some people say, or some government are hostile to it. They say that there is a no real value, there is a no like it's not a real money, it's a kind of like digital token. But again, it's trust of community. So if the people trust that token is, for example, is Bitcoin is token, people has trust, and that's why it got the value. So if For example, if someone has bought 10 Bitcoin in 2008, now that people will be a millionaire. So it's not that it's Ponzi scheme. You can't say it's Ponzi scheme, but you can say that there is a volatility, lot of volatility. For example, today, if the Bitcoin is or any other crypto is, for example, is $50, tomorrow it could be $25. Another day, it could again go to $30 or something like that. But you need to understand the mechanism of market, otherwise you lose money. And other thing is that it's like cryptocurrency, there is so much volatility as compared to other currency. So you should never ever use your whole money for crypto. Okay, you can use some part of your uh, money for the crypto. And initially, if you are thinking of doing trade in a cryptocurrency, then you need to learn a lot. You need to understand. So it's not a guesswork. So once you know that, there are a lot of people who lose a lot of money in crypto, and there are a lot of people who sort of earn a lot of money from crypto. But it's like you need to know, and it's required like before you doing any trading, I would suggest you to spend some kind of 6 months looking their prices, sort of studying the historical data. You need to understand that how to read the graphs and things like that. Okay.
Interesting, Doctor. I have a question. One of the channels that we are streaming on. Do you think there is a possibility to integrate blockchain with AI?
Yes, yes. So that's like this is the future. There are a lot of like project or research initiative running in like different countries, that there is a sort of integration of about the integration of AI and blockchain. So basically, what will happen is that eventually, when you build a blockchain is they keep growing. You will have like a huge amount of data. If you integrate AI, or if you use like AI approaches, then you can get the kind of like valuable knowledge from that blockchain quickly. So AI is so there are uh, research project they are going on at the moment to assessing the impact of using AI with the blockchain. So, for example, if we use this smart contract, and then in a similar way, the AI can be used in a blockchain as well. But definitely, it is no one is excluding this fact that AI won't be the part of this blockchain. So definitely, yes.
These are the questions till now, but now this is the last question from my side, Doctor. Still now, people they are thinking blockchain is nothing except Bitcoin. Can you clarify the difference between the two concepts?
A blockchain is basically, it is a, so we know that in old time they used to use the distributed ledger. So you have the like this kind of record where you put information about like your income, spending, and that kind of thing. You put some other information as well. But this
Yeah.
so the Bitcoin is basically a token, and that run on a blockchain. For example, initially, when, let's assume that someone started this Bitcoin, and they developed the blockchain. On within that blockchain, within a first block, someone put that there is I own a 50 Bitcoin, and then from there I bought 10 Bitcoin from him, and then he created the next block, and 10 coin were transferred to me in exchange of 10 pound, and you bought 10 Bitcoin for 10 point, and that transfer on you, that is in next block. Now they put, for example, two transaction in one block. So that's, now there is a should be consensus that this is a legitimate transaction, and then there is a consensus mechanism run. We call it bit mining. You have sort of heard of the like bit mining. There are a lot of miner with the computing power. So they verify the transaction, and then there is a next block that we got, you got 10 coin, I got 10. Now I am selling 10 coin for $100, earning some money. You are sending, sort of selling them, earning same amount of money, and it will go to another person. Another block will be created, another block. So Bitcoin is basically, it's a digital value, a token, and that is within blockchain. What we do is that when we transfer its ownership from one person to another person, it's get recorded into that chain. And one, you know that the one, this miner, there is a consensus mechanism. When miner run that, there is a mathematical, this is going to be technical, but when they run it and then they approve that this is legitimate transaction, if I sold my 10 coin to next blockchain, I will be next person in a block, I will be never be able to claim that this is my. Or if I got 10 and I can't sell the 20, although it's there, but it's a blockchain mechanism. So basically blockchain mechanism keep record of transaction in a secure manner. So it's every transaction that for banking industries that use blockchain as well. Like in UK, Barclay Bank, they use the blockchain. Is Santander Bank, they use the blockchain as well. But this is what they do is they use it for transaction, but there is a money as a token there. So for one address is 50 token attached. That address could send the, or make transaction of 50, not more than that.
Yeah.
So one can, so that's, it's basically blockchain is enabling technology
Okay.
that make this digital currency possible, because again no one is on sort of in complete ownership of that. It's consensus mechanism. For example, there are 10 people in a room, and we say that I have sold this in front of 10 people, so 10 people verify it, and later on if someone says that it's not, then at that time there is a consensus that all people have confirmed it, that this happened. That's the got like become permanent part of your uh, blockchain, and it gets sort of signed, so no one can refute it or no one can claim that this is mine.
Thank you so much, Doctor. It's really interesting a discussion between our members and you, and many questions has been raised up during this discussion panel. But we will conclude here. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you very
Nazar.
much, everybody.
Thank you for the valuable information that you provided for us today. And see you, inshallah, in coming session. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Bye bye, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.